Dr. Kerry, let's come back to you on this. Now, some people have said that, you mentioned when you started, that at least a boy child should be able to cry when he wants to cry, should be able to express himself. What our society feels, especially from what some people say, that a crying boy is a weak man. I wonder what you make of this. Why we should no longer hold this notion, or why we should strengthen this notion. Talk to us from here.
That is a wrong narrative, and it's like I said, it's from a chauvinistic point of view, and we have to change this stereotype. We have to change the narrative. Boys should cry. Boys should express themselves. There's nothing unmanly about crying. There's nothing unmanly about expressing oneself. And you see, when they internalize this pain, it overwhelms them eventually. And no wonder they get suicidal. A lot of them cannot handle a lot of things that the females would have handled normally, because they go about it so much. And this extends to other aspects of the life of the male. You know, they are meant to not express themselves, keep it, hold it, and you see them keeping it and holding it and internalizing until one day they just explode. And I think that this narrative should change. It should change, because it is not helping us. We are seeing that more perpetrators, there are more male perpetrators, because a lot of them have unresolved issues. They can't even speak up. Society doesn't let them speak. I don't think this is right. I don't think this is helping the male child. I have worked closely with a lot of them, and even to seek help, some of them think they'll be called weaklings when they come to seek help, and they default. Most times you don't see them again. You try to follow up, and they tell you they are busy. They give you one excuse, because society has not given them that avenue, that opportunity to be themselves. I think the hypocrisy has to stop. It has to stop.
Right. And Dr. Ekere, still talking about, the abuse being meted out on the girls and the boys now. A particular DSVA report said that a substantial percentage of male perpetrators of abuse turned out to have been abused themselves. Do you agree with that report? And help us understand the link.
Correct. Okay, like I was saying before you came in, a lot of times they don't get help. They're not even listened to. They tell them they just give them, confer this immunity on them, subtle imaginary immunity, I call it, because it's not real. So they make it look like, oh, the boy child can take up anything, can absorb anything, and it's not true. And when they don't get help like their female counterparts, it gets worse. They don't tell anyone, they don't voice it out, they internalize, and they live with the trauma, psychological trauma, sometimes physical trauma. They are not absolved from sexually transmitted diseases. The only thing that may not come their way is pregnancy, but every other thing that the their female counterparts go through, they go through it. The trauma, the rejection, the low self-esteem, and they now, as a coping mechanism, they also want to be violent, because that's the only way they can exhale. So they want to be violent. And of course, if you have unresolved issues, if you haven't had therapy, if you haven't been counseled, what's the next thing? Your mind is already depraved. It tells you, go and do this. So you go, and of course you commit more crime. If you were abused, the only thing your mind tells you is to hurt the next person, to abuse the next person. That is why the cycle continues. So until we let them come out, until we help the male child, until we balance it, until there's equality, I think this cycle will continue. And at the end of the day, we'll be running away from the issue or the problem that we're trying to tackle. We'll be running into it rather than solving it, to meet us and stare us in the face. And of course, there'll be nothing we can do.
Right. And talking about Yes, please allow me to just, quickly butt in. Apologies, Dr. Ekere. Talking about equality in terms of provisions of substantial amenities on the part of government and caregivers, for example, you're in the system, in the medical line. Are these services customized also to help male survivors? Because even the laws, people have said, even the laws, do the laws also understand or include that males could also be abused, the language specific and all that, and even the services, do they also include male survivors?
Yes, they do. Definitely, they do. The law, the Child Rights Act is for both the female and the male. But you see, because for a long time, the females have been disadvantaged, taking, there's just this thing about relegating women to the background. Everyone now thinks that it's just about, or they just, not like they think, they just see them going on and on with the female narrative. Let's take care of the female, and that is fine. It is fine, but let's not do that at the expense of the male child, because what we are running away from will still stare us in the face. We have all the amenities, everything is there to help both sexes, even in the hospital. But it's just that, the NGOs now are tilting towards a female child, and that's fine. It depends on your passion. If you are in an environment where females are treated like, are to be seen and not heard, are treated like a piece of trash, of course it will arouse your interest in that line, to change the narrative. But in changing the narrative, let's also carry the other gender along, because they are suffering, and I can say this emphatically, that they need help. The male child needs help, as much help as a female child. Yes.
All right, Dr. Ekere, I wonder who we should specifically be reorienting as far as this is concerned, because the boy child is there, who is supposed to have an understanding of the fact that I should speak up when anything happens around me. He is not. So we're having a lot of bottled up, issues here, emotions here and there. Parenting, the parents, their roles and all of that, or even the school. Talk to us about who we should be reorienting specifically on this issue.
Everyone, you and I, but let's start from the home, the smallest unit of society. We should change this mindset that the female is the weak. Yes, the female is weaker, maybe, but not in all cases. We have females that are wrestlers now, that are very strong and physically. So yes, that was a joke. Yes, but that's the truth. The thing is, we should start from the home to let the parents know that there's no disparity. There's no discrepancy. A child is a child. So there are no roles for the girl child. And there's no way a girl child should behave that should be different from the boy child. Oh, yes, come and cook, learn how to cook because you're going to get married. And, everything is about the female child. So that attention, because of that, indirectly, inadvertently, you just see that the attention is on the female child and they are neglecting the male child because they think that they are superior. So it starts from the home. No one is superior. The boy child should cook. There should be roles should be distributed equally. And the parents should also know that no gender is immune to hurt, to trauma. They have been created the same. Yes, with time, as they get older, the hormones have interplay. But as children, let's start from childhood. The girl child is the same as the boy. The same strength they have.
Right, we seem to have lost the audio there from Dr. Nimi Ekere. Now, the point he or she was making, there was the issue. Okay, you still will have her back.
Yes. So from the religious perspective, yes, the female is should be the submissive one, is the weaker vessel. But we should know that that's in a context. Everyone should be treated equally. if there's any issue, it should be handled the same way. Don't absorb. Don't think that anyone is immune to trauma, is immune to stress. Everyone goes through stress, and everybody should be handled equally. The attention given to the gender at all levels, even in the hospital, everywhere. And of course, this is to us too. Everyone should. The job, you're a presenter, a female is presenting with you, and women can do what men can do. So let's not distinguish and at the end of the day relegate one gender to the background. I don't think it's healthy.
All right, so we shouldn't discriminate in any way. All right, I'm going to still put you on hold. We'll go on a short break and return with more. Stay with us.